In this tutorial, you will learn how to pull scores from your math assessment tracker into your eSchool gradebook. For starters, I need to go to my eSchool gradebook and I need to create the columns in which I'm going to pull the scores into. In this case, I have two formative columns that I've created. I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, and from here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to count the number of columns I have until I get to my ID numbers. And I'm just trying to find the column number that my student IDs are in. And you will need to input your student IDs into your spreadsheet. So to start off with, I'm going to count 1. Column B will count as 2 if you have both first and last name in, because there's a comma. So it's going to go column 1, 2, 3, and my ID numbers are in column 4. I will also need to know the column number of the scores that I'm going to pull over into my eSchool gradebook. So in this case, my ID numbers are in column 4 and my scores are in column 5 that I want to pull over. Next, I'm going to go ahead and download this Google Sheet to my computer as a comma separated values or CSV file. When I do this, it's going to give the file the exact same name in my computer, and I don't even have to open the Excel file itself. From here, I'm going to go back to my gradebook. I'm going to click on Mass Update Scores. I'm going to click on Import Scores from File. I'm going to choose a file, and I'm going to go ahead and start typing in the name of my file that I just downloaded. In this case, it was my name, John Doe, Math Assessment Tracker. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Open File. I'm going to click CSV. I'm going to type in the number of the column that the student ID numbers exist in my spreadsheet, which is 4. This will never change, by the way. This will stay at 4, so we can always remember that our ID column number will be 4, and then the scores that I want to pull over are in column 5. From here, I'm going to click Override Existing Scores, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Import. And we'll notice that now this column that was empty has all of the scores that were in my spreadsheet. The nice thing about this method is that as I go on to my next column, which I know in my spreadsheet is column 6. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All I have to do is click on this Import Scores. The file will remain up. I will click on CSV. I'll click on my ID number column, and then I will also click this time on the number 6. I'll click Override, and then I'll click Import. And now I have 2 columns that have been populated with these scores. You could continue to do this down the line. So for example, the next column over when I put scores in will be column 7, column 8. You get the idea. Now let's say, for example, throughout the week, I change scores. As students retake assignments, they show their mastery. I'm going to want to have a good way, an easy, timely way of updating these scores without actually going through and picking them out one by one. What I will do is I'll go to my math sheet after I have changed the scores that I want to change. I'm going to go to File. For every change that I make in my spreadsheet, I will need to download another sheet to my computer. This time, since I didn't delete my old sheet, this one says John Doe Math Assessment Tracker, 5th grade, and in parentheses it says 1. That is the most recent sheet. When I go to update my columns, I need to follow the same process. And this time, I'm going to change my sheet. As I type in my first name, I'm going to notice that 2 files show up, one that says CSV and one that has a 1 before the CSV. This is the most recent sheet. I'm going to click on it and follow the same process. ID, column that I want to pull the scores from. I'm going to click override. This is really important for overriding these scores because this tells it to change any scores that are currently in your eSchool gradebook. I'm going to click import, and now those scores have changed for this column. I can do the same thing with this one, and since that same sheet is already up and I haven't made any changes to it since, I can type in 4 and then 6, override, import, and now I have updated all of these scores without actually going through and doing them one by one. We hope that you have found this tutorial helpful. Good luck.